And welcome back to Foreign Currencies with Scott. I'm your host, Scott. So I wanted to do a little mathematical example for you guys today, but before we did that, I just wanted to show you a coming out of Sunday trade that was a potential moneymaker today. If you'll notice, the value at the left-hand side of the screen is 1.35262, and that is the value of the New York close on Friday, as you can see there, and then some very tiny candles as the market opened on Sunday. Now, as the morning progressed, the pair moved away from this in the up direction, and it made a peak, kept going up. It made a peak around 5 a.m. You can see this peak right here that it has not gotten back to since then. Now, that would have been a good entry position for a trade, and the take profit, the stop loss would have been 20 pips above that, which it certainly hasn't reached, hasn't even gotten back to that point. And the take profit could have been 40 pips below, or it could have been the close of the New York market Friday, which was a bit further away. And we'll see as we look over here that it did go below that value. But look at what it did. Notice here in the center of the screen, it just barely went below New York's close and then back up. And then since then, it's gone both up and down, but it has not reached that. This is what an attraction, a prior closing price is. There was no other reason for it to go to that point and then turn around and go back up again, but that is the point it reached. And this is why the method that we use is such a good method. It's really like a magnet, just drawing the pair's price to it, and then it just moves on with its day. Okay, just wanted to show you that. And you will see this time and time again in charts. Where the price goes to is a very, very familiar looking spot. In this case, it went all the way back to Friday's close of New York market. All right, so we're going to take a look at something else now. If you'll bear with me, I'm just going to bring up a different kind of chart. All right, and welcome back. So I've brought up a very simple spreadsheet here, and I'm going to imagine that we start an account with $1,000, this value indicated right here. Now, what you've seen in the past few videos is that we don't get to trade every day. Some days it just doesn't seem like we have a good entry point. The pair hasn't moved far enough away, or it just doesn't act like it's going to try to return to that close of the prior day, so we don't enter. So out of the 5 days of the week, we're going to presume that maybe we only got to trade 2 days on average a week throughout the year. Throughout all 52 weeks, we were only able to trade 2 days, and that's what rows 2 and 3 represent. So we're going to further presume that we are 50-50 traders. Half the time we get it right, and half the time we get it wrong. So you can see in the one of our 2 trades for this theoretical week, we put in a stop loss of 20, and that $20 represents 2% of our $1,000. So that is close to the most that we want to put in on any given trade. So we're risking 20. We know the most we can lose when we put in our stop loss is $20, and we're risking 2% of our account. So that first trade, we got it right. So we made $40. And so now our new account balance is $1,040. Okay. And then the second trade for the week, again, we did the exact same thing. We put in a stop loss or a total risk of $20. Now notice, since our account value is $1,040, we're not risking as much as 2%. And some techniques we might want to use, we might want to adjust this every time, but we're just going to use the simple model for now of risking $20 on every trade, with starting an account with 1,000. And so we risked that $20 and we lost it all on that second day of trading. And our account lost the $20 and went back to 1,020. So that represents our week. Now, that means in 1 week, we made $20 on a principal of $1,000. So if we made $20 a week, and there are 52 weeks in a year, that's A5 times B5 equals what? A5 times B5. Okay, it's $1,040. So we started with, so this is if we had been able to make 2 trades per week and we were right half the time and wrong half the time, we would have turned that $1,000 into $2,040, or just slightly more than doubled it. So this math applies to any principal value. It applies to $1,000, it applies to $10,000, it applies to $50,000. In 1 year, we have more than doubled that amount just by being right half of the time, and only by being able to trade 2 days a week. So keep your chin up. There are ways to make money, and this is a pretty easy one with not much effort once you understand it. We're going to visit this a bit more as we go on in our videos, but I just wanted you to take that away with you today, that we can double our money in a year using this method. So that's all for now. I'm Scott, your host for Foreign Currencies with Scott. See you next time.